Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to. What's going on, everybody? It's your man Chris Thorns. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you watch my content. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a story here that I'm going to talk about that I have no pride in telling because, it's one of the sickest stories that I'm about to do. Which I think I may have done a story like this before, but it's never easy doing stories like the one I'm going to bring to you right now. And I guarantee you, this one probably will make you, how they say, clutch your pearls or clench your pearls, however you want to put it. So let me switch all over. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about this man behind me right now, this young man right here. The name is Catrell Walls. And let me tell you what this pussy did. Um, a 7-year-old was on an e-learning class. And what this man did during a break session of the class had this young girl performing a sex act. And the girl had the camera still rolling while this young man had this girl performing the sexual acts on him. Sometimes when I do these stories, I just be like, I hope the accusation is false. But when you look into it, you just be like, oh my God, that this shit is real. That this shit is actually real. Um, and you know what? Let me stop talking. Let y'all hear the shit for yourself. Y'all listen to this shit.
Teenager is now charged with the sexual assault of a 7-year-old girl while she was e-learning.
WGN's Judy Wang is live at 26th in California this morning with details. Judy?
Good morning. It was a teacher who witnessed the incident involving a 7-year-old girl. Not long after that, Chicago police arrested the suspect, Catrell Walls. Walls is scheduled to appear in bond court here later today. Prosecutors charged the 18-year-old Southside man with one count of sexual assault. Police say the 7-year-old identified Walls as her attacker. The girl attends Bronzeville Academy Charter School. She was online for remote learning, a study hall session at about 1:30 Thursday afternoon. The teacher saw the child performing a sex act on a man. She was in the building, went to the school office, and reported what she had witnessed. The school CEO and the principal called police. The school administrators say they do not believe other students saw what their teacher saw. Police went to a home near Indiana and East 89th Place where the assault happened. They took Walls into custody for questioning. The 7-year-old was taken to Comer Children's Hospital to get checked out. Bronzeville Academy is not a CPS school, but CPS Chief Janice Jackson talked about the incident in an unrelated news conference. Jackson says with remote learning, it is harder for teachers and counselors to identify issues kids are facing.
This situation is definitely disturbing, something that has been unsettling to me personally since I heard about it, but I also think it just makes me even more committed to seeing our kids back in school under the watchful eye of their teachers who care for them deeply.
Now, Chicago police have not disclosed whether the girl and the suspect are related, what the specific relationship may be. A DCFS spokesperson says the agency is investigating this case. Outside the Cook County Criminal Courthouse at 26 and Cal, Judy Wang, WGN News.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes.
I want a lot of you to understand. Just as hard as it is for a lot of you to listen to these stories, think about how hard it is for content creators like me and others who do these stories. Think about how hard it is for us to tell them. And I have to say, shout out to everybody who tell these stories for these kids, because again, these children have no voice. They don't have no voice. All right, these babies don't have a voice at all. And in this era, you have a lot of kids that do tell their parents that something ain't right. And you know the sad thing about it is, a lot of them don't believe them until it's too late, until the major damage has been done. So now I'm kind of understanding now why a lot of these kids, these youngins, these young teenagers, I'm starting to understand why you hear a lot of them out in the streets talking the way they talking, cursing, and talking about fucking better than adults. I can understand why. Because it's happening at home. And if nobody's at home listening to them, who else they got to listen to them? Other teenagers in the streets who experience the same thing. And 9 times out of 10, thinking that it's cool, that it's happening to them. Because they fear that their parents are not listening or don't believe them, that they telling them that this stuff is happening to them. So now I'm starting to understand why a lot of these children think it's okay for this to happen and for this to go on. And not only because they try to tell them what's going on, they seen it for themselves. Because you got a lot of mothers who bring any and everybody to the house and leave these kids unattended while they go in the room doing what they doing. Because in this era, these children ain't dumb. These teenagers ain't dumb. They know what's going on. And they can hear what's going on. But if the teenagers say something, the parents talk to them as if they wrong for saying something. And it's a motherfucker ridiculous that was going on. A motherfucker ridiculous. That's how it's going on. Now I want y'all to see something else. Y'all seen at the end that they was like, they don't know what's the relationship. They don't know what's the relationship between them. Well, hold on. I want to switch y'all over and see something. Let me switch y'all over. I want y'all to see something. Real quick. Let me get you on my screen, pussy. Hold on. I want y'all to take a look at it right here. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. That's highlighting in blue. Man charged with sexually abusing 7-year-old cousin. Seven-year-old cousin during remote learning. According to this is his cousin. But now, here's the crazy thing. Let me click on it. You see the title now? Where's the title with the cousin at? It's not there. Well, you look at this right here. It's alleged that this is cousin. I wanted y'all to see that. Excuse me. I wanted y'all to see that. Now, with that being said, I want y'all to listen to something else. I want y'all to listen to this right here.
Fears that crimes against children are going unnoticed. Important issues we're taking the time to dive into here on Hour 18, starting with CBS 2 investigator Megan Hickey. Megan.
Brad, obviously public health is the #1 priority, but Chicago Public Schools and victims advocates are in agreement that schools don't just teach kids, but they also keep them safe. It was a horrific call to Chicago police Thursday afternoon. A 7-year-old girl observed performing a sexual act on a man live on an online learning session.
I was absolutely appalled when I heard the story.
Unfortunately, it's exactly the type of abuse that the executive director of Connections for Abused Women and Their Children feared.
So many individuals don't have the resources.
When she first learned about remote learning plans last spring.
And the risk of individuals, of children, being without someone that can be a voice for them, like their teachers or a teacher's aide or a principal.
We confirmed today that the 7-year-old victim was not a CPS student, but Chicago Public Schools CEO still echoed the CAWC's concern.
There are fewer watchful eyes looking at students, connecting with students to make sure that they're safe.
And pointed to a solution, an eventual return to in-person.
I want somebody to help me understand, what does they mean when they say she's not a CPS student? Does they mean she haven't been in the system, in the CPS system, or what? What does they mean when they say that she's not a CPS student? Somebody help me out with that.
It's an instruction.
It just makes me even more committed to seeing our kids back in school under the watchful eye of their teachers who care for them deeply.
CAWC
Chicago Public School. Okay,
gotcha. Calls for help early in the pandemic, a bad sign, they say.
My bad. I think I just got my answer right there. She wasn't a Chicago Public School student. Okay.
That abuse was going unreported. Love Patterson tells me those numbers began to trend back up after the state moved into phase 4, but worries that if a resurgence of cases leads to a second shutdown,
that will mean then that, again, victims of domestic violence and sexual assault will be forced to shelter in place with the very person that wants to harm them.
Now, as of this afternoon, Chicago police said a man had been questioned by detectives, but charges were still pending. That young girl was taken to Comer Children's Hospital. CPD also said that their domestic violence call volumes are currently about 9 to 11% higher than the same period last year. Brad?
Some disturbing things there, Megan. If a return to in-person learning is still a ways away, what can be done in the meantime, right now, to protect kids from abuse?
Right, so Love Patterson said that teachers need to go out of their way to observe students even during remote learning. Their changes in demeanor, changes in personality. Also said they need to make sure that parents are aware of the signs and to know what kind of resources are available to them, like the CWAC, that they can use to help. Live in River North, Megan Hickey, CBS 2 investigators.
Megan, thank you.
Now, I like the message that's being pushed right there, but here's the crazy thing about that is, about learning about the signs. First of all, in order for a lot of people to learn about the signs, is we need to get more involved with these children's schooling, okay? Even now, the pandemic going on, people with children at home learning, still, you have to get more involved because now you can see anything can happen, even with these e-learning, shit still can happen. So we still as people, I don't have no children, but for the people who do have children, you have to take the time and just get involved. They don't have these, they didn't have them parent and teacher conference for no reason. They have them because you need to know what's going on with your kids learning, and I think that's a lot of what's going on now because a lot of parents are not getting involved with these children learning. They're not getting involved, so they won't pay attention to the signs what's going on. They're going to ignore the sign that's going on because they're not getting involved, And I want to see if I can reach out to this lady. What's her name again? What is her name? Is it Stephanie Love Patterson? I want to see if I can reach out to Love Patterson and have her on the show, because I think this is a topic that, since I talk about children, this is a topic that I would need to have somebody like her on the show that understand this type of behavior and that understand what kids go through or whatnot. I think it'll be an honor to have her on the show. So let me see if I can find her and have her on the show. Let's see here. So going back to the original story, go back to the original where I began that. No, as a matter of fact, I want to go right here. I want to go right here with this. And as a matter of fact, I want y'all to see this up close and personal. So let me see if I can blow this up. Okay, this should be good right here. And let's read this. The title said log off, log off. When the teacher saw this, she was telling her students to log off. Log off, log on. Teacher orders students when sexual assault live streamed during first graders remote learning class. This was on yesterday. And here's what it says. An 18-year-old man out on bond for a gun case was held without bail after he live streamed himself doing a sexual act with a 7-year-old first grader. They was on break from a Chicago public school remote learning class on Thursday, prosecutors said. Catrell A. Walls out of the West Chesterfield neighborhood on the south side was arrested Thursday afternoon shortly after 3:30 p.m. after he was seen molesting the girl, police said. Walls charged with predatory criminal sexual assault of a victim under 13 years old appeared for a bond hearing Saturday afternoon before Judge Charles Beach. Police was made aware of the attack when the girl's teacher saw her on a computer screen during a Google Classroom e-learning session. It goes on to say Walls showed complete disregard of children and a wanton callousness for human life, if I said that right. Cook County Assistant State's Attorney Adriana Torreno told Beach. In addition to Thursday afternoon incident, which alarmed multiple students who viewed it and were heard asking what's going on, what's happening, the victim told authorities Walls has had a history of sexually assaulting her for the last year, Torreno said. Let me pause that for a minute. So this has been going on for a year. I don't know if this baby tried to tell her folks or whatnot. All right. But then I had to question. And this went on for a whole year. How did anybody miss the signs? Did nobody pay attention to anything that was going on? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Give me just a minute. Okay, I had to turn this thing upside down because it kept sliding on my goddamn face. So anyway, let's continue. So this been going on for a whole year. And I guess, let me assume that for this whole year, nobody knew nothing was going on. For a whole year, how do we... I have to ask the question, for a whole year, how do we miss this? How do we not see no signs? How do we not see that maybe the child was acting different when this man was around? Or do this man even stay there with the family? I don't know. But this been going on for a whole year. And I'm thinking that maybe when he did this time, yes, they say the child had the thing on mute, but maybe she left it up as a bat signal to let people know that this was going on. I've been trying to talk to people about what's going on, but now I got to find out. Now here's my chance to show y'all what's been going on when I'm around this man. But this been going on for a whole year, people. A whole year. The victim initially said Wall just hit her and said it was a secret, Serrano told Beach. The victim disclosed he made me put my lips on him, and this has happened before. And I don't want my daddy to know. It's a secret. Oh my God. She didn't tell. Oh my God. Wow. She didn't tell her daddy. I'm pretty sure she would have told her daddy would have got this shit straight. Probably would have knocked his ass out. Serrano said, quoting the victim, "This was broadcast in the daytime on a website accessible to many young students, while the young girl was on break from the class during a time when her teacher asked the students to turn off their cameras and mute themselves. The 7-year-old muted herself but did not turn off the camera. When the teacher saw them performing oral sex, she repeatedly ordered all the students to log off and then call out the victim's name and told her to turn off the camera. She saw the defendant close the computer," Serrano said, so apparently he must didn't pay attention the computer was still up. The teacher called the police, the school principal, and the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. Officers went to the victim's location and Walls was arrested after she identified him. While being taken to custody, Walls began crying and said, "I don't know why," said Serrano, adding, he also said, I'm sorry. Why we always sorry after we get caught? Sometimes I feel like, no, we are not sorry till we get caught. Because if you were really sorry, you would have been stopped this. But you're only sorry because you got caught. If you would have never got caught, then the words probably never came out your mouth. He's a senior in high school and plans on finishing, said his lawyer. He works 40 hours a week, sometimes 6 days a week in construction. Has extensive family ties, including several siblings and other relatives, and is not a flight risk. Walls has no history of sexual crimes, not that y'all know of, or violent crimes, his attorney said. That's because he's never been caught until now. Adam Walls has been diagnosed with a disorder that impairs his ability to control his impulses and concentration, said the lawyer. Call it somewhat of a disability. Now, I want to ask y'all a question, because I'm going to run this as a premiere. I want to ask y'all a question, how do y'all feel about that? And the reason I'm asking because I work with people with disabilities. And yes, a lot of them do have disorders. I work with one now who has a major disorder. When he gets in a mode to get aggressive, his lust for aggressiveness is not satisfied until he get a hold of you and do whatever he's going to do to you. Until you have to use what they call CPR, PCM defense mechanism to get him off of you. He will leave you alone then, but sometimes he'll come right back because them disorders, But that's him just grabbing you. He don't try to do nothing sexual towards you. But with this man right here, he have a disorder to where I guess they using this to say that his disorder is to have this child perform sexual acts on him. So how do y'all feel about this? Do y'all feel it's a difference? Or, how do y'all feel about this? I would love to see what y'all say about this right here as far as the disorders. But here's the key thing, though. They're saying somewhat of a disability. Beach, before ordering no bail for Walls, said he had several reasons he made that decision. The first being Walls was currently on bail for felony. Jesus Christ. I want to know, did this man live with them people? I want to know that. Additionally, the crime was broadcast on video. Multiple people saw it, including the teacher, Beach said. The judge also noted that the victim's outcry was immediate to the principal of her school and others. And Walls made an admission, said the judge. During an unrelated news conference on Friday, Chicago Public Schools CEO Janice Jackson called the situation disturbing. Jackson said the district in recent years has increased supports for students who experience sexual assault or harm. And teachers or counselors are often the first to identify an issue a student is facing. Listen to that. The school identifies it first, a lot of times, versus your own parents. And I want y'all to understand this is why I'm doing this story. Because this is going on all over the place. Not in just Chicago. It goes on everywhere. Here in Memphis. It goes on everywhere. And again, nobody recognizes it till it's too late. And some of these kids do try to tell their people what's going on. But you got a lot of people who brush the shit off. Mainly it's the mothers. They brush it off. Oh, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Stop lying. Stop lying. But here's the thing, though. If the child can tell you exactly how it went down, then how can you say that it's lying? Now, do kids lie? Yes, they do. But when they come and tell you something like that, it won't hurt to do a little bit of investigation. It won't hurt. Because you'll be surprised what you find out. You'll be surprised what you find out. Once you do a little investigation. And I guarantee you a lot of times you do your investigation, that person that your children is claiming is doing the acts has done it to other people. Or other people has made that same accusation. It don't hurt to investigate. It don't. We provide a lot of basic needs for our students, and safety is one of them, Jackson said. DCFS has already reported a dramatic decrease in the number of cases reported. We know these things have not stopped occurring, but what has happened is there are fewer watchful eyes looking at students, connecting with students to make sure that they're safe. Walls was arrested late one recent evening with a loaded Glock handgun, Torino said, and he was charged with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. A pending case that is up for arraignment November 30th. Walls will be back in court on the sexual assault case October the 19th. The Chicago Tribune reported. Hannah Leon contributed. Again, this is the young man that did it. You know, I guess looking at this picture, he was crying. But is he really sorry? Or is he sorry because he got caught? At the end, I say this to you people. Again, investigating an allegation does not hurt. Because by you as a parent investigating, you could save a lot more children from people like this man right here. But it's another sad thing with this. When you got your own family members that's doing this, if this is his cousin, and you got people who want to keep this a secret because they don't want to ruin their family name. And I think that's the most fucked up thing right there. Because you feel like getting rid of somebody or put somebody out of your life because they doing shit like this, just because you feel like it's ruining your family name. Well, I say this right here. Motherfuckers like him, I don't think it ruins a family name. I think it only ruins his name. Let me say that again. Reporting motherfuckers like him, I do not believe it ruins the family name. I think it only ruins his name. And he can make others aware of being around him and having their children around him. Okay? Now, I always say I believe people can change. And I do believe that. But I also say some things people do, I just don't think they can come back from. And something like this is going to live with this man forever. So can he really come back from this? I don't know. You tell me what y'all think about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your man, Chris Thorns. Again, I know stuff like this is hard to listen to, but it has to be put out there. And I, for one, going to keep being one of the ones that push it out there. And again, shout out to everybody who cover these stories for children, because these children do not have a voice. And your man, Chris Thorns, as always, tell me what you think. And thanks for watching. And let's help get people like this off the streets, and if possible, get them some damn help, because they need it. Peace.